What's up, everybody? John Arapoli here with My MMA News, and today's guest just defeated Boima Karmo by a unanimous decision at Maverick 21. That victory got him the Maverick MMA featherweight title. Pleased today to be joined by Dennis Buzukja. Dennis, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate the time, and congrats on the win.
Thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, no problem at all, man. So, a lot going on here with this win, a lot going on with your career here at the moment. We're going to touch on everything, but let's just start right here with this performance, with this win. It's got to feel good to capture another regional title, I'm sure.
Yeah, it feels great. Just picking up, just picking up the belts. I like my nickname's the Great because my middle name's Alexander. So I kind of think of myself like as a modern day Alexander, just going and picking up, like conquering different lands. Like the Maverick title, the Ring of Combat title. I won on Contenders, so it's a good feeling. I'm blessed. Yeah, I'm definitely happy.
And let's talk about this performance too in Maverick. I know, I'm sure a lot of the people like the UFC and whatnot, which we're going to get into in a second, probably like to see finishes. But I know we're having this conversation a little bit off air. Sometimes people won't get finished. What are you going to do? It happens sometimes. In this performance, you were able to mix it up on the feet with both punches, kicks. Really full arsenal there. You're also mixing in takedowns. Really showed that you are a complete fighter there. I'm sure even though you didn't get the finish, I'm sure you still have to be happy with the performance.
Yeah, I was happy. I wanted to mix it up. I wanted to mix in the wrestling and the leg kicks this fight. I was able to show everything against a tough opponent. I pretty much dominated from bell to bell. I thought the second round was going to be a 10-8 possibly. In the moment. Uh, I was able to mix it up, just put the training that we do to work, and my confidence is growing in the cage. Again, like sometimes guys, it's a tough guy. I'm fighting guys who have he's the champ in this region for a reason. They're not really easy fights. I could go fight some bums in like Alabama or something and build my record with highlight knockouts, but I'm fighting tough guys. Every fight is my opponents have winning records. They're tough opponents. They're real opponents. And I think that speaks for itself too in my level of competition.
And now let's go to the post-fight moment there. So after capturing this title, like you said, a hard-fought victory, game opponent there. You get on the mic and you cut an awesome promo, and it's kind of been taken up. I've seen it I've seen it on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It really is getting a lot of traction. In case there is anybody out there who hasn't seen the video, I'll let you explain what exactly the post-fight call-out was, and give us the update on it too, as to where it's kind of gotten you from here.
Yeah, I hopped on the mic. I thanked everyone, and I was happy to win the belt. But I was like, I called out Dana White, Sean Shelby. I was like, give me my fucking contract. I got very vocal with it, respectfully, of course. I'm not like cursing at Dana or Shelby, but I was just being vocal about it. I was like, I put on exciting fights, I win, I put on a show. Give me my fucking contract. So I was just like, I'm gonna start being more vocal, kind of talking more shit, being myself, not obviously, not faking anything. I'm a New Yorker, we talk shit by nature, but yeah, it went viral actually. People posting it everywhere. I didn't realize it was gonna go viral like that. It was just in the moment. I was just heated, and everyone's sharing it. But we're still waiting, man. No word back yet. No nothing. So I don't know what's going on. I really hope the UFC will give us some good word. Waiting on their end. I had my manager reach out to them, to Shelby. So we'll see what happens. But I really want to fight in the UFC. That's really where I want to be. I feel like I belong there for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to say, I mean, like, what's going to take at this point? Because a guy like yourself, first off, you train at a fantastic gym that's been known for producing a lot of high-level talent, a lot of UFC guys, and we'll talk about some of those teammates a little bit coming up here. But outside of that, you fought on Contender Series twice. You got a win this season. Let's see, you have a couple regional titles under your belt. I mean, at this juncture, I mean, you're just checking all these boxes. Like, I guess, what other box do you have to check to get this phone call here? It's pretty crazy that you haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know Dana's looking for finishes on Contender. At the end of the day, I didn't get the finish, so it's really, I can't. I'm not one to complain. It's in my hands at the end of the day, really. But the conversation that a lot of people seem to have that I've noticed from like Twitter and Instagram is it's not really about me winning my fights because I pretty much dominate the fights. The matter is me finishing them, you know? So it's like it's like these tiers where it's like, guys like get knocked out every fight. It's like, oh, is he gonna get knocked out? And it's like, oh, this guy loses every fight. Is he gonna lose? My thing is like, I win all my fights, or most of my fights, and people just want to see finishes. I don't know. It's really a weird thing because I'm winning, but like it doesn't feel like I'm winning sometimes because it's not enough in a way. But at the end of the day, a win is a win. I never have a boring fight. I always put on a show. But maybe in the UFC, I'll take more risks and do some crazier shit. I got a few highlight reel knockouts. So I think I set that bar like with the spinning elbow knockout. I got a nice knockout on Bellator. I think I set a bar that people want me to uphold, which makes me work hard, and I appreciate that people have this high expectation of me. So I always come to put on a show. It's really as simple as that. And I think I'm just maturing in my game, training with Aljo and Marab a lot more, getting smarter in the fights, and just making sure I win. But I always try to put on a show.
Yeah, and I'm sure it could obviously at some point, like you said, kind of get stressful as you kind of, wait for this phone call to come in here. I'm sure there's obviously gonna be people that are going to want to play devil's advocate and say, well, what if you don't make it in the UFC? There's other promotions out there, and we know that there are benefits to the promotions. I know there have been fighters in Bellator that have made great money because they let you go out and get your own sponsorships and whatnot, and people that can sell themselves end up making a lot of money. Of course, PFL has that $1 million tournament every year. Okay, $1 million can really change people's lives too if you win that whole entire tournament. So there are other incentives for other promotions, but at the end of the day, I mean, you call an ace and a spade, and the UFC is the glamour division of the sport. Any young fighter wants to get into the UFC, so I don't fault you there. Just when you look at the big picture here, just talk about how you can weigh out the options out there. Is it pretty much, yes, UFC is my goal, my dream, that's where I want to be, or do you kind of take a look and see what the other places have to offer and whatnot?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. Yeah, UFC is the goal, brother. Like that's always been my dream. Once I set my mind to something, I have to accomplish it. I just get fixated on what I set my mind to, and that's what the story's been for me and my career. I'm fixated on the UFC. I've had like PFL talks. PFL's reached out, kind of thing. I fought on Bellator. There was like talks with that. The options are there. I'm in a good spot. I'm on a 5-fight win streak, but I like just really UFC is the ultimate goal. It's the worldwide stage. It's the highest promotion. It's like the biggest name, and I want to be the one, like the Albanian fighter, to put my country and my people on the map with the UFC. And I feel like I'm the one to do it. I can be the face of it. I can be the superstar for the country and for a representative of the people. I was at dinner last night with Delir Latifi, and he was saying like I'm the future, and I have the power in my hands to do it. I just have to keep working hard. So I just have this vision in my head that no matter what, like I'm fixated on it. I'm gonna accomplish it, and there's like certain things, certain little steps to get there, and one of them is being in the UFC. So it's bigger than just me, man. It's like it's the people of Albania. It's the people that believe in me. They believe in it. They want the UFC, and I want the UFC, and that's all that it's gonna be. And I won't stop until I get there.
And you have great people in your corner too that could help you out with all this. Guys that have faced a lot of adversity, that have probably had similar situations than yourself. I want to start talking about some of the guys at the gym. Let's start with your head coach though. Ray Longo's been around the game for a real long time. First, hilarious personality too. I know he does this little minute there on the Anakin Florian podcast, and I usually get a good laugh at it. He's absolutely hysterical. Just what's it been like having him as a coach? He's obviously, like I said, been around the game for a long time. He's coached a number of champions, a lot of high level guys. I'm sure it has to be great having him in the corner.
Yeah, like you said, it's great to have him in the corner. He's seen it all. I trust him. I trust his knowledge. He knows my game, so he knows what I'm looking for, and we work around my style. Uh, he's just has so much experience with everything. He just knows the ins and outs of the game. He's the Godfather. We call him the Godfather. Uh, I just trust him with my heart, with everything. He's funny. He's a great mental coach, and he knows us so well. We just have such a great relationship. Like our whole team with Aljo, Marab, Al, Weidman, Ray, Sarah. It's just an unbreakable bond that no one could get in between, and the trust in that helps us perform in the octagon. So yeah, man, I think we're the best team in the world in a like dynamic standpoint and in a technical standpoint. I love everyone there, man. It's just I think it's a perfect storm.
Yeah, I want to ask you about a couple teammates too. Let's start with Aljamain Sterling. He's obviously another great guy to have in the corner. He was with you for your fight here with Maverick. Big supporter of yours. It looks like a great teammate. I saw you did a little video for you for before this fight too to kind of help pump some things up and everything. How's he been able to help you out too? And he's kind of had a similar story too. He had to work a little bit to get into the UFC and everything too. So I'm sure he's been offering you some great advice too.
Yeah, actually, he's the best training partner, man. And it's a huge confidence. He's the world champion. There's one of one. There's one UFC bantamweight champion, and this guy's in my corner through thick and thin. He has my back on everything. I have his back on everything. Me, him, and Marab, we were like very close training partners. We train together every day. So they're my confidence. It's the actual UFC champion, and you got the number two in the world who would be champion soon to come. And Aljo, yeah, we had talked about it after I won Contender Series. He was 8-0. He was telling me he won his second title at CFFC, and then the UFC told him he's not ready. And then like 2 months later, they called him short notice, and then he made his UFC debut. So kind of similar path. Marab was 1-2 earlier in his career. Then he picked up a string of wins and got on looking for a fight and got into the UFC. So kind of similar careers with the setbacks. I look at them as like kind of like to cope. I don't know if cope is the right word really, but kind of like to just for support really, because it's a similar path and I know they've been there and they've broken through and they've made it. So it's a good little motivational boost for me and a mental support. But I have them in my corner, man. They're my best friends more than anything, and we're teammates. We push each other. We're close in life. It's not like we're just in the gym. We just see each other in the gym and talk. And going back to that relationship, and I trust my boys. Like they're with me in the trenches, and I'm happy to ride into battle with them. And I trust them. I trust their experience and their eyes, uh, and we just put it to work, man. This is what we do. We just train together and just go beat people up together.
And when you said about Aljo's story, it kind of made me think. I didn't even think about this till you said it there, where he ended up having to take the short notice opportunity. That is a lot of ways into the UFC. If you're willing to step up on short notice, a lot of guys have gotten contracts from that. Is that in the cards for you? Are you trying to kind of keep yourself always ready? So if that short notice opportunity does present itself, you'll be ready?
Yeah, actually, once I won on Contender Series, Sean Shelby told my managers like, stay ready, and if a short notice fight falls like opens up, they'll call me. So I was always training. I'm always training regardless. I was keeping my weight low, and it just came to a point where I was like, I'm tired of waiting. I want to stay busy. I'm young. I'm healthy. There's no reason to let time pass and slip me by. I'm not really the type to sit and complain and like say I deserve it or I'm not doing anything until I get what I want. I booked another fight. I was like, give me another tough fight, championship fight. Give me another title. It's a risk every time you step in there because you can lose and you'll have to climb all the way back up. But I'm a risk taker and I believe in my skills and I went for it, man. I don't like sitting around. And I figured with another strong win, it would build my case more for a UFC contract. So, anyways, if the short notice call comes up, man, I'll be ready. I'm ready to go. I'll fight December 3rd. I'll fight the next card if they call me.
Well, that's a good mindset to have. And like I said, a lot of people have gotten contracts that way. There's a few other things. There's one other guy I want to ask about in the gym, and we'll end with a few other things here. Another guy that was in your corner for this fight, Raging Ally Aquina, a big fan favorite there for a lot of people. What's it been like being able to kind of have him in your corner too? I know he's retired now. He's not really. I'm sure he probably still shows up in the gym and helps out and everything. But I'm sure just having him as a coaching mind has to be just great because I know his mind's very, very smart with the sport.
Yeah, he's been around the game. Another one, been around the game a long time. He's seen the ins and outs. He's been my probably biggest mentor in my career. I live with him at his house. He rents a room out to me since 2019 maybe. It was the weekend after he fought Khabib. I don't remember when that was, 2018, 2019. But I live with him, and he's kind of been like a almost like a manager for me, like helping me with my career, guiding me, like bringing me to like wrestling camps and like telling me what, focus on this for the next few months. And he's been in my corner through in life again, just like him and Aljo and Marab, like in life and in everything. I just keep going back to it. We're just a powerful unit. We have each other's backs. We joke like we say we're the Fantastic Four. Uh, but again, like Al, apart from fighting, he's been a great like life coach too. I broke my leg at one point, and he told me to get my real estate license just to stay busy. So he's been helping with everything. He's just a great friends more than anything. And then it comes down to teammates, and we're just doing what we love, man.
All right, so two last things for you here. One outside the cage, one is still fighting related. We'll go outside the cage for this question first. I
Yeah.
did see, I believe it was on your Instagram, big Dragon Ball Z fan. I haven't watched it since I was a little kid. But anyway, what is it about that show that you love it? It's still as an adult, you still go back and you still watch it, and that you have such a love for it.
I'm a kid. It's so funny. Everyone calls me Goku. Uh, because I just love to fight, and I'm like so friendly with people. I'm like a little kid, and I just eat a lot. And everyone jokes and calls me Goku. I kind of resonate with it. But I grew up watching the show. It's fighting, like pushing past your limits, and just loving training and fighting and competing against the best people. And there was actually one point I had graduated high school early. A lot of people don't know this. I graduated high school January instead of June, 6 months early. And then I had no job, no nothing. It was like a snowstorm. I kind of was like in a rut. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, high school's done. Like, where do I go from here? So I was kind of in a rut. I stopped training at the time. Like, I just had no motivation for anything. Maybe like a little depression. I don't know what word you want to use. I don't really like throwing that word around. Uh, and then I started binge watching Dragon Ball Z. So like all day, every day, I watched from the first episode to the last. And as soon as I finished the last episode, I packed my clothes, I went to the gym, and I haven't stopped training since that day. So that's like I have a very strong emotional connection to the show, and it's a cartoon, really, anime. Some people get mad if you call it a cartoon, but people find motivation in different things, and I found some motivation in the show, and I have an emotional tie to it, and that's really what it is for me. So when I went to this restaurant, Goku's Kitchen in Staten Island, I was geeking out. I was losing my mind, man. The food was so good, and to celebrate a victory there, it was just my euphoria was like exploding. It was crazy.
So this has been one hell of a day of doing interviews so far. You are my second interview that I'm recording today. The first interview was with Danny McCormack, and she was telling me how she got into fighting because she went on Tinder and swiped yes on a guy that was into fighting, got her into it. You got into it from Dragon Ball Z. Today is absolutely wild. I don't know what's in the water here. These are two great stories I find completely interesting. I don't know who's his. What do you think story is better? Is her story better or yours better? Hers might have with the Tinder app. That's kind of wild, isn't it?
I think hers is more of like a wow factor, That's a little crazy one. I'm gonna have to give her the cake on that one. That's a good one.
All right, so now one last thing that I want to end with here today. It is back to being fighting related here. I'm not going to ask you to spill too much beans here, but there has been a little bit of back and forth with Aljamain Sterling and Henry Cejudo on Twitter mostly. Not going to ask you if they're fighting. I know that there's rumors out there that they have a fight date booked pretty soon, but I know Aljo said there's some moving parts and everything, but just your early prediction for this matchup, because it does seem that all roads are leading towards those two fighting.
Uh, that's a good fight. Cejudo is obviously very accomplished. People sleep on what he's accomplished, actually, because of the cringe. They overlook him. I just think Aljo's just elite right now. He's been on such a hot streak. He's on a roll. His body's feeling amazing. He's taken out great high-level competition. I got Aljo by third round submission.
Awesome, man. Great conversation today. Appreciate the time. Last thing before you roll out, social media, management, sponsors, anything like that you got to give shout-outs to, take it away.
The Saralongo team, best team in the world, helping me through everything. I love them. The Albanian community, the Albanian people all around the world, man. I get messages from all over. it's crazy what people send me, like how I inspire them and stuff, and it blows my mind. I'm just a kid doing what I love, is fighting, and I got people from all over the world, Albanians, my own blood. Like they get so emotional about it. It's crazy to me. So I have to shout them out always. The Albanian people all over the world. They make me proud. They're proud of me. Uh, my sponsors, Gazmen Blata, he's helped me so much. Linda Sadiku, TV Alb, Joe Spinelli from Gold Coast Mortgaging. There's so many, man. I can't even remember all of them off the top of my head. It's crazy. Like G Fuel, OnlyFans, my boy Aaron from Halloween Records. There's so many people behind the scenes. Like when everyone sees me, it's just me in there. But I have so many people who support me behind the scenes. So I just want to shout out everyone there. My girlfriend, my family, like anything I need, they're ready on a phone call. Uh, yeah, I'm just blessed, man. I'm blessed and thankful for everyone and for you for your time.
Dennis, no problem at all, man. You're always welcome here. It was great to meet you, and it was our first interview together. It was a great conversation. I really appreciate the time, and I really appreciate all the time from all the viewers today. Do me a favor, guys. If you like today's interview with Dennis, please go to the bottom. Make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, and make sure you guys are keeping your eyes out for My MMA News. Keep your tabs on the website. We have great content that comes out every single day of the week. We also have good social media pages. We share a lot of funny memes and that on there. So make sure to go to our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Give us a like and a follow on there as well. We'll see you later, everybody.